Greetings, children. The topic that we are going to learn today is the excretory system. Lesson number 9. As per syllabus, you need to learn the external internal structure of kidney and part of excretory system completely, and you should learn about the process of urine formation, structure of unit of excretory system, that is nephron. So in today's class you need to learn about the external structure of kidney and what is excretion, what are the products has to be excreted out from our body. So first you need to learn the definition. So what is excretion? Excretion means removal of metabolic waste from the body. What is the meaning of the word metabolic waste? Metabolic waste means the process which happen to make an organism's life success. Okay, so like respiration, nutrition, digestion, those sort of processes, life processes are called metabolic processes. So by metabolic processes, each and every cell will be releasing some amount of waste matter, and all this waste matter from each and every cell has to go out of the body, and that is happening by a process called excretion. So in our body, in a human body, the common excretory product or the predominant excretory product would be nitrogenous waste. That's why excretion majorly talks about removal of nitrogenous waste. Removal of nitrogenous waste, that is nothing but urea. Okay, there are so many different nitrogenous waste for animals. Some animals excrete ammonia, some animals excrete uric acid, and we are coming under the category to excrete urea. Okay, not uric acid. Urea is the excretory product that is expelled out of our body from each and every cell. So the nitrogenous waste, we need to mainly focus on urea. So what is excretion? The process of removal of metabolic waste or chemical waste from the body is known as excretion. Why is it necessary to excrete out the waste? If waste is accumulated in the body, it will be toxic later. So to maintain homeostasis, there is homeostasis means a steady state. A harmonious steady state is known as homeostasis. So a peaceful environment has to be given from the internal cells. To each and every cells we need to provide, each and every cell has to provide a harmonious state to our body. So this is known as homeostasis. So homeostasis can be achieved by excretion too. Excretion is one of the major steps which happens, which is necessary for homeostasis. So the definition for excretion goes like the process of removal of metabolic waste or chemical waste from the body, mainly the nitrogenous waste. Now what are the excretory organs found in a human body? There are totally 4 different excretory organs in the human body, but as per syllabus only this 3 is given. The 4 different things are like skin. Skin is an excretory organ by the help of sweat glands. Sweat glands, you know that already, you have studied last year. Excretion is done in sweat glands. So by sweat glands too, they are excreting out some amount of urea. That's why the sweat is salty in taste, right? So this urea, this sweat is also a kind of excretion. Now come to lungs. Lungs expels out carbon dioxide and a little bit of water through the expired air. There is a controversy. Sometimes people used to confine this as a kind of excretion. Sometimes this is coming under the kind of expiration. Okay, it's coming under the kind of source of respiration. So this is, you can write, because it's given in your syllabus, so you can mention lungs is a kind of excretion. But if there is a question like, is it a pure kind of excretion? No, it is not. This is coming under the kind of respiration too. The next one is liver. You will be learning about bile pigments, but not under the title liver, but still you will be learning about bile pigments. So bile pigments, you are going to learn that. So bile pigments which are released out by fecal matter or through urine, that is also coming under the kind of excretion. And the next one, the major one, which is the excretory organ of our body, that is kidney. So kidneys are the primary excretory organ of a human body, which throws out maximum amount of urea. Okay, so a little bit of urea is excreted out through skin, and a very little amount of urea is excreted out through liver when compared with kidney. So kidney is the primary excretory organ which expels out the nitrogenous waste through urine. So we can call the human excretory system as urinary system too. Now what are the substances to be get rid of our human body? What are the substances to expel out? What are the substances that has to be expelled out from the human body? The first one is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is like each and every cell. When a cell is doing its respiration, you know the reason behind respiration. Only by respiration energy can be produced. So at the time of respiration, food is completely oxidized, oxygen is utilized, and then carbon dioxide will be released. Okay, so that carbon dioxide is expelled out through lungs. Right, the carbon dioxide is eliminated through the lungs, and a little bit of amount of water is also expelled out. Okay, so carbon dioxide and water is expelled out through lungs. Then the second one, nitrogenous metabolic waste. So here the nitrogenous metabolic waste may be ammonia, uric acid or urea. But for our body, the maximum excretory product is urea. If it is accumulated in the blood, if it is accumulated in our body, this is a high toxic substance. It's highly poisonous. So if this nitrogenous metabolic waste is accumulated in the body, that can be lethal to a person. So kidney is doing that work. Kidney is doing as like a filter. This is filtering out the nitrogenous waste, that is urea, from the blood, and it washes out with the help of water. It washes out through urine. Okay, so the conversion of this nitrogenous waste or the formation of urea or the urea formation is mainly that occurs in the liver. That's why I said that the bile pigments are produced. So from where these bile pigments are produced, we'll be learning that. Now this nitrogenous waste, sometimes they can ask you this question, the location or the formation of urea in our body, in which part of in our body urea is produced, or in which organ urea is produced, that is liver. So from where urea is being produced is the protein. We don't have our body system to store protein, so the excess protein by every usual cycle, like excess protein has to be converted into nitrogenous waste, and this nitrogenous waste has to be expelled out. Okay, some amount of protein which will be converted into amino acids can be suspending in our cells, but majority of the protein, excess protein, has to go out by converting itself into urea. So liver is the one which is doing this kind of work, right? And the next one is excess salts. Excess salt, like the sodium chloride, right? When you are having too much of salt in your food, or if you are continuously consuming too much salty food, this excess salt has to go out through the excretion process. This is also happening through our kidney. You will be learning about this in later classes. And then the next one is water. The water which is being taken into the body as water, or in kind of beverages, or in kind of along with food. Like if you are eating a fruit, half of the amount, like more than half the amount, is just water. So all this water has to go out of our body. That is also happening through the way of like through kidney. And the next one, bile pigments. Bile pigments are produced by the liver by its metabolism. We'll be learning that in future. So this bile pigments, which is responsible, there are two different kind of bile pigments. It's not given in your book. There are two different kinds of bile pigments, bilirubin and biliviridin. Okay, bilirubin and biliviridin. Bilirubin and biliviridin. There are two different kind of bile pigments. These bile pigments are produced by the disintegration of red blood cells. Okay, when liver breaks down RBC cells, this bilirubin is majorly produced, bilirubin and biliviridin. This bilirubin is the main reason for the yellowish color of the fecal matter and yellowish color of the urine too. Okay, so this bilirubin has to go out of our body through kidney, and also at the time of ingestion some amount will be going out. So this bilirubin biliverdin formation is happening in the liver, or RBC destruction happens in the liver, and this waste matter has to go out of our body through the process of excretion. That can happen through the kind of egestion too. That is, through fecal matter also some amount is expelled out, and through urine too some amount is released out. Okay, now I said egestion and excretion. So there may be a question, mostly they used to ask this question in part B, that is in section B, your understanding level questions. Is defecation a kind of excretion? What is defecation? Defecation is the expulsion of food waste. Okay, defecation is fecal matter has to go out of our body, that is what defecation. So is defecation a kind of excretion? The answer is actually a strong no. Okay, so what is it? What is the reason for this? I already told you what is excretion. Excretion is throwing out of body waste, the nitrogenous waste which is produced from our own body. That is excretion. If the waste is produced by our body, that is excretion. Okay, if the waste which is throwing out of our body, which is being thrown out of our body, if it is produced by our body, then it is excretion. What is defecation? Defecation is expulsion of waste which doesn't belongs to our body. Okay, so defecation is egestion. It is egestion. Okay, defecation or egestion are same. Egestion means it is passing out of undigested food matter or feces. This undigested food matter our body can't take in. If you are taking in too much of vegetables, the fiber cannot be digested by our body. So this waste matter of the food has to go out. Undigested food matter has to go out. That is known as defecation. Excretion is not like that. Once the food is being consumed by our body and it is going into the cell, and from the cell by the metabolic process something is being produced as a waste, and expulsion of that metabolic waste is known as excretion. Understood? So that is the difference between defecation and excretion. Now we are going to learn the structure of kidney. Okay, so we are getting into the lesson. Now the first thing, kidneys are the major excretory organ in our excretory system. So major amount of excretion happens through the formation of urine. So you can call we can call the human excretory system as urinary system. Almost they both are similar because the other kinds of excretion is very negligible amount. So urinary system is also a correct term for excretory system. Now in case of kidney, like we are going to learn in detail about the kidney. Now there are two pair of kidneys are there in human. There is a kidney on the right side and there is a kidney on the left side. Okay, these kidneys are bean shaped structure. They are a bean shaped structure. Can you see that here? It's a bean shaped structure, and the kidney is found on the dorsal surface of our body. So while you keep your hand on the hip region where your thumb is, that would be the position of your kidney. Okay, so that is it is on the back side of your body, it's not in the front part. So if a person's body is being opened, you can't see the kidney from the front part. You have to take all the intestine out to see the kidney. So it is located at the back of our body, near the backbone, near the last two ribs region. Okay, near the last two rib region. You have studied about the ribs. So near the last two regions of rib, like there are 12 pairs of rib, remember that, not in the front part, okay, at the back, right? And then one more important thing that you need to know here is the right kidney is slightly lower than the left one. What is the reason? This is a very commonly asked question. What is the reason the right kidney is slightly lower than the left one? That is to accommodate, the simple answer, that is to accommodate liver. In our body, the right side, we have the liver which is projected a little bit. Okay, on the right side of our body, just beneath our breast region, we have the liver. So this liver, because of the position of this liver, right kidney is little lower than the left kidney. So left kidney is higher and right kidney is little lower. And these two kidneys are actually, they are not similar in their size. They are different in their size. Left kidney is actually a little bit larger. Okay, this left kidney is a little bit larger and this is higher. Okay, and there are two kidneys, and on top of the kidney you could see one pink color thing which is marked here. This is known as adrenal gland. The word renal is for kidney. Okay, R-E-N-A-L, renal is for kidney. So wherever you could see the kidney part, there would be renal. Look at here, renal artery. Artery is the pure blood carrying blood vessel. So the blood vessel which supplies blood to kidney is renal artery. The blood vessel which will be taking out the blood from the kidney is known as, did you guess that? Renal vein. Okay, so here it is, renal vein. Renal artery is the blood vessel which supplies blood to the kidney, and renal vein is the blood vessel which collects blood, impure blood, from the kidney back to the heart. Okay, so that is renal vein. Sometimes they can ask the question, the blood vessel which enters in the kidney is renal artery. The blood vessel which is leaving out of the kidney is renal vein. Okay, and now this adrenal gland, ad means superficial, above, ad. Okay, ad means above. So the gland which is present above the kidney, that is adrenal gland. Okay, you will be learning in detail about adrenal gland in another lesson. Now you can learn that the adrenal gland is present over the kidney as like a crown. Over the bean shaped kidney as like a crown, there is a gland, and that gland is known as adrenal gland. Okay, now we are going to learn the terms connected with the structure of kidney. Okay, now we are learning only about the superficial structure, only the outside structure. This picture would be helping more. Now this is adrenal gland. Okay, this can be the right kidney and this can be the left kidney. Now I'll give you the terms, the important terms that you need to learn. The first one is hilum. So hilum is the part from where this tube arises. Okay, the part from where the tube arises, that is hilum. You can see one depression here in the bean shaped structure. One depression is there in the inner cavity, and this depression is known as hilum. This is just a common term, not only for kidney, this is just a common term. Even in the real bean, in the plant bean, even in the real bean, you could see that depressed part in that inner part of the bean, that depressed part is known as hilum. So hilum is the part which is depressed and which gives out a structure, a connection, which establishes a connection. So that is what hilum. So this part is hilum, right? And the second one, this is bladder, urinary bladder. Okay, urinary bladder is a muscular bag which helps in the temporary storage of urine. Urinary bladder is a muscular bag which helps in this temporary storage of urine. It can store urine for some time, right? Now the next part is ureter. Okay, this long tube is ureter. This long tube, this long muscular tube, this is ureter. So what is ureter? The long muscular tube which connects kidney with the bladder, or which takes urine to the bladder from the kidney. Okay, so that is ureter. Now this ureter, you can see that it's a very long tube, but when it comes closer to the kidney, or when it arises out from the kidney, listen very carefully, when it arises out from the kidney, the ureter is a little expanded. Can you see that here? It's little expanded. This expanded part of bladder will enter into the kidney. This will be entering into the kidney also. It's not coming just out of the kidney. It is there internally too. If you see the internal section, you could notice this. In later classes I will show you that. This is known as pelvis. So what is pelvis? The expanded part of ureter into the kidney. The expanded part of ureter into the kidney is known as pelvis. Okay. Now urine is being produced from this part. Okay, this part, this kidney is responsible for the production of urine. inside kidney there are millions of its structural and functional unit, that is called nephron. This nephron is completely loaded in this part. There are millions of cells there, and this nephron or the cells which are found inside the kidney are producing urine. So this urine will be produced in a drop by drop manner, and all these drops will be coming to the pelvis, and from pelvis it will be coming to the through the ureter, they are coming to the bladder. Okay, so the movement which occurs in this ureter to move the urine from kidney to the bladder is peristaltic movement. Already you have studied that peristaltic movement is the movement which occurs in the internal organs of our body. Okay, so peristaltic movement is the movement which moves urine from kidney to the bladder. Right, the next one, this bladder receives the ureter, and the ureter doesn't open here. What is happening is ureter is extended into the bladder for a little lengthier way. Okay, it's not immediately opening it there. The ureter shows its extension into the bladder for a little longer way. It has its expansion there, it has its extended tube there. The reason for this is to prevent the backflow of urine from bladder. It shouldn't go back. Okay, so to prevent the backflow, it's connected like that. Now this is the bladder, and this bladder neck, in this area you could find a sphincter muscle. What is the reason for sphincter muscle, or what is the purpose of sphincter muscles? Sphincter muscles are actually, they guards the opening. Only when we decides, or only when a human wants, the sphincter will allow urination. Okay, so the process of expulsion of urine is called urination, but the scientific term, urination is a common word, right? But as you are in 10th standard, you should know the term for it. It is nothing but micturition. Okay, micturition is nothing but urination, but you should write it as expulsion of urine. Expulsion of urine from the body is called micturition. So what are the terms you have studied now? These are the terms. First, ureter. It is the tube that connects kidney to the bladder. It is the tube that connects kidney to the bladder, right? The next term, hilum, a notch that is in the median surface of the kidney. Okay, this part, a notch which is in the median surface of the kidney. Next one, urinary bladder. It is the part where urine is stored temporarily, which is a muscular bag. Remember that. The next one, pelvis. Pelvis is the expanded part of ureter into the kidney. The expanded part of ureter into the kidney. Now the next one, urethra. It is the opening through which urine is emptied out, or it's being sent out, or it's being expelled out of the body. Urethra is the external opening. Urethra is the opening through which bladder gets emptied. Okay, urethra is the external opening through which the bladder get emptied. And the last one is micturition, that is urination, the process of release of urine out of the body. Okay, in between this we have studied about two more things. That is sphincter muscle, which is responsible for the regulation of micturition, which is responsible for the control of expulsion of urine, that is sphincter muscle. And another one, the movement of urine which happens through the ureter, that is peristaltic movement. Okay, so these are all the things that we have studied in these terms. Okay children, what are the things we have studied now? First, we discussed about what is the definition for excretion, and then what are the excretory organs. Okay, and the next one, substances that to be get rid of. What are the waste substances that has to go out of our body? And then, is excretion and defecation the same? And it's no. You know the reason also now. Next is the structure of kidney. I guess you could understand the structure of kidney now if it is asked for a separate 5-mark question, but not in the detailed form. They will be asking, you know that they will be asking complete 1 marks, right? So what is renal artery, what is renal vein, why the right kidney is lower than the left kidney, and which kidney is larger, and what is ureter, what is the function, what is the movement occurs in ureter, what is the function of urinary bladder, and what is urethra, and what is the purpose of sphincter muscle, and yeah, about the other parts you will be learning after you learn circulatory system lesson. You can learn that. And then the next one we have studied in detail about the hilum, pelvis. Okay, so remember the terms that we did, right? Now your homework, please read these pages, just 2 pages. The just only 1.5 page you have to read. You have to read till the structure of kidney, not the internal structure. You have to learn the structure of kidney till micturition. You need to learn, read and learn it very clear. As I always used to say, if there is any doubt, you just message me in the personal comment, private chat, or through WhatsApp. Okay, thank you kids, keep in touch. Thank you and stay safe. Thank you.